The United States calls itself one nation, but its landscapes tell a different story. Between coasts, plains, deserts, and mountains lie cultures and climates that barely speak the same language. Geography doesn't just shape how Americans live. It shapes what they believe in. In this episode of Earthspective, we'll cross a continent of extremes to see how land built a country and why that same land still divides it. It starts with the sea. The eastern coast, humid, forested, dotted with rivers, was where European settlers first took root. Here, geography offered a promise: deep harbors, mild seasons, and rich soil. Perfect for trade, perfect for growth. Boston, New York, Philadelphia, cities that began as ports and grew into engines of commerce. The Atlantic shaped their character. It made them outward-looking, fast-moving, and connected to the world. This coast became the nation's backbone, its political, cultural, and financial heart. Even today, more than half of America's population lives east of the Mississippi. The land here doesn't test you with extremes. It rewards planning. And that shaped a culture built on institutions, networks, and ambition. The U.S. was born here, where geography opened the door first. But just a few hundred miles west, the land begins to rise. Gentle at first, then rolling into the old green spine of the Appalachians. For early settlers, this range was a wall. The mountains cut colonies from the vast interior, isolating communities and slowing expansion for nearly a century. East of the Appalachians, cities flourished on trade and communication. West of them, small farms and logging towns clung to valleys and narrow passes. Even today, Appalachia feels like a world apart, rugged, slower, self-reliant. Coal seams and steep ridges kept the industrial age alive here, even as other regions moved on. It's a land of endurance, not speed, where the word neighbor still means something, and time runs on mountain terms. Geography built both division and identity here. The Appalachians didn't just shape a landscape, they shaped a mindset. Leave the mountains behind, and the horizon opens like a book. The Midwest, vast, flat, geometric. A sea of cornfields and grain silos stretching from Ohio to Kansas. Here, the land is generous. Deep soil, gentle seasons, predictable rain. Every inch can be farmed. And for 2 centuries, it has been. Cities like Chicago, St. Louis, and Minneapolis grew where rivers met railroads. The grid system carved the land into perfect squares, an engineer's dream of order. The result wasn't just a region, it was an idea. The heartland became America's symbol of reliability, modesty, and self-sufficiency. Work hard, grow steady, feed the country. Geography shaped not only what people did, but who they thought they were. The land here rewarded patience and planning, and that mindset became a national myth. Keep going west, and the soil thins. Grass replaces crops, rain becomes scarce, and the sky takes over everything. This is the Great Plains, a landscape of distance. Farms give way to ranches, small towns to silence. The storms are bigger here, the winters harsher, the space endless. Then, suddenly, the land erupts. The Rockies rise like a wall of stone and snow. To live here meant to fight geography itself. You couldn't control it. You could only adapt. This is where the American idea of the frontier was born, where individualism became not a slogan, but survival. Sparse population bred independence. Hard weather bred resilience. It's no coincidence that this region still carries the image of self-reliance and skepticism toward authority. Out here, geography doesn't reward systems, it rewards grit. If you're enjoying this journey across America's extremes, don't forget to leave a like. It helps others discover Earthspective and keeps us exploring how geography shapes the human story. Now, let's head south to the deserts where survival itself becomes an act of design. Then the color changes again. Brown, red, gold. The desert Southwest is both ancient and fragile, shaped by heat and scarcity. Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, these places shouldn't support millions of people, yet they do. Civilizations have adapted here for centuries. Long before Las Vegas or Phoenix, the Hohokam built canals that channeled precious rainfall into fields. Adobe homes stayed cool under burning skies. Modern America expanded on the same principle. Import water, defy the desert. The Colorado River became the region's lifeline. But this defiance has limits. Every year, reservoirs drop, temperatures climb, and the line between livable and not grows thinner. Still, the Southwest endures, a region where survival itself feels like a kind of innovation. Finally, the land meets the ocean again, but now the world feels reversed. The Pacific coast faces not Europe, but tomorrow. From foggy Seattle to sun-soaked California, geography here rewards creativity and risk. Earthquakes, droughts, and wildfires remind people that stability is an illusion, so they build for change instead. San Francisco rose from fault lines to become a tech capital. Los Angeles spread across basins and hills like a living organism. Port cities trade not just goods, but ideas, global ones. California's Central Valley, meanwhile, feeds half the country with fruit, nuts, and vegetables grown in desert soil, irrigated by snowmelt from faraway mountains. The Pacific Coast lives by adaptation, a culture that expects disruption, yet finds opportunity in it. If the East Coast represents where America began, the West represents where it keeps reinventing itself. The U.S. stretches far beyond its continental heart. Alaska and Hawaii, opposite in climate, identical in isolation. Alaska is vast, cold, and resource-rich, a land of mountains taller than anything in the lower 48. Here, geography rules absolutely, roads end abruptly, winters swallow the sun, and communities rely on air and water routes to survive. It's a frontier that still feels raw. Hawaii is the opposite, volcanic, tropical, surrounded by thousands of miles of open ocean. Its isolation shaped a unique culture long before it became the 50th state. Now, it balances paradise with pressure, between tourism and preservation, between belonging and distance. Together, Alaska and Hawaii remind us that America is not a single environment. It's an idea stretched across extremes. The United States isn't one geography. It's several stitched together by history and hope. The coasts trade, the plains feed, the mountains divide, and the deserts test. Geography carved both unity and tension into this land. It built opportunity and difference. The same vastness that made expansion possible also made understanding harder. From the storm-beaten East to the restless Pacific, America's story is a story of adaptation, of people who learned to live with floods, droughts, blizzards, and earthquakes, and somehow turned them into symbols of resilience. Its landscapes don't just define its borders, they define its spirit. A single flag, but many worlds beneath it.